He's going the opposite way of the pattern.
Yeah, well, he just turned. And the traffic experimental 27 uniform Lima departing 7, remaining in the pattern. Manatee. All right, here's... He's the only one that's out there, so maybe he's turning around and going out. I don't know if he's got a radio or not, so... Now remember, we got to be doing 60 for liftoff and landing, so we get up to 60 before we pull back. So you with me?
Yeah.
All right. What's our RPM? 47?
Yeah.
All right, now we're below 60, so we put the nose down just a tiny bit to keep that 60. So as you adjust your throttle, you have to adjust your stick. Now, all the time we're trying to keep the wings level.
Right.
Level as possible all the time. Now, we're at 800 feet. I'm going to show you what a stall feels like. So now I'm going to pull back. We're not going to climb. You see we're still 800? See how we're doing 50 now?
Yeah.
There's 46. You feel the pressure on that stick? See how it's trying to tip to the right?
Yeah.
That's a stall. All right? So you got a lot of pressure on that stick. That's an indicator. All right? To keep a straight level flight, you shouldn't even have to have your hand on the stick. Now, your airplane does not have trim on it. It probably doesn't.
No.
So you're going to have pressure in one way or another all the time. All right, now we're down to almost 700 feet. We're at 60. We're at 4,700 RPM. See how the altimeter's dropped to almost 700?
Yeah.
Keep that 60. We're going to drop the throttle just a tiny bit more to 45. Now, see how we're down below 60?
Yeah.
Stick forward just enough to maintain the 60. All the time you're keeping yourself level and you're keeping the ball in the middle. Now we should be feet. We're in a descent rate. Okay, now drop it down to 4,200. All right, there's 4,250. Stick your head to keep 60. Now see it dropping? We're down almost 500 feet. Now we're going to very gently bank with your stick. And now see what the trailing response is to the ball. Now give a little bit of right pedal to coordinate that tail, not too much. Just enough to get the ball back in the middle. We've still got power on. We're at 4,000 RPM. We've still got a good descent rate and 60 miles an hour. Mandy Drive Experimental 27 Uniform Lima, right base, 7 empty. Back up to 4,200 RPMs. We're going to lower it down a little bit more, and we're going to turn again. Mandy Traffic, 27 Uniform Lima, turning final 7 empty. All right, now see how our speed is increased? Yeah. We're going to pull back our throttle, nose down just to keep that 60. Now we got plenty, so we can chop the throttle all the way back. We brought it down nice and slow. Keep the stick forward to get the 60. And take 60 all the way to the ground. Keep straight with the tail. And when you smell the grass, which is right about here, you pull back just enough to level it off, and it sets right in.
Is taking the active runway 07.
Mandy Traffic, Challenger 27 Uniform Lima, departing 7, remaining in the pattern. Manatee. All right, a little bit of left pedal. Keep your wings level with the stick. Pull back until we hit 60, and that gives us our climb. You see how much pressure is on that stick? Yeah. I'm helping a little bit, but when I let go, all that pressure is yours. Mandy Drive Experimental 27 Uniform Lima, right crosswind 7, Manatee. A little bit of left pedal. Keep that climb in a little bit, just don't go below 60. Ultralight. Mandy Drive Experimental 27 Uniform Lima, right downwind 7 Manatee. All right, now we're at 800 feet, so we're going to pull the throttle back. As we pull the throttle back, we're going to slow down because we got a climb rate. There's our 60. Now, as it goes below 60, then you nose ahead just enough. Get your RPM down to about 4,800 to 5,000, and you should be able to maintain at 60.
If the ball goes to the left, I give it a left rudder?
Yes, you chase it. Don't look at my string, you look at the ball. Right at the pattern altitude, 840 feet.
Mandy Traffic, Troop 95 Foxtrot, departing runway 07, depart to the east, Manatee.
He's going to be entering the runway, so we're going to go in extended. So watch that 60, get the nose down a little bit. That'll get us into a very slight descent rate. Traffic Experimental 27 Uniform Lima, right base, 7 Manatee. Maintain the 60, pull the throttle back just a little bit because we want a descent rate now. We want it below 4,000 RPMs, but you want to keep the engine warm. You don't want to cool it too much. A little bit of right pedal and a little bit of right bank. A little bit more right bank. not really descending at all. Just enough to descend rate, but not enough to cool the engine too much. Okay, see you're down to stall almost at 50. All right, a little bit of right pedal, a little bit of right rudder. Mandy traffic experimental 27 uniformly, returning final 7 managing. Now see, we're really high, but that's okay. You got the whole runway, right?
Yeah.
Slow down to 60. You don't want to dive it in. Line up with your rudders. Nose down to 60. Drop the throttle all the way back at this point. Slow it down to 60. Don't let it go below it. Okay, now we hit that little bit of a wind shear draft.
Yeah, man, traffic good. Fox Trot is 20 water to the east.
Okay, now we're going to put on the brake. We're going to turn around and go back. We're not going to try to take off from here. And you don't want to turn until you're going slow enough.
And, is that the way I bring my plane in?
Pretty much. Now that was a steep approach.
When I cut the throttle that soon,
with yours, it's going to be a little bit different because you're lighter.
Yeah.
It's going to slow down faster because you don't have the weight behind it. And you're going to be doing 30, not 60. So it's going to feel like you're hardly even coming in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole different scenario. It's not going to feel the same.
Yeah.
You're just getting closer to what your plane is going to be doing.
Okay.
We'll just do a bunch of these so you can get used to it.
Okay.
I'd love to see you land this thing before I go to Maine for a month. Oh, the ultralights are already back and parked.
Yeah.
Now, because this is a trike, it's going to be very much like your tail dragger, except right now we're going downwind. With a tail dragger, you'd have your stick all the way forward.
Yeah.
All right? Enough so that your elevator would be pointing down because you want the wind that's coming up behind you to push the tail to the ground, not lift it. If you had it back like I've got it right now, it would actually lift your tail, right?
Yeah.
Because right now what I'm doing, I'm pulling back and it's lifting my front wheel. Because if I push the nose all the way forward like this, I'm putting a lot of pressure on my front wheel. And you don't want to do that with a trike. Because that front wheel is made just to kind of dolly along. It's not made to take really any weight. And that's where most guys get into trouble with these, is they do damage to the front landing gear. Not so much the middle ones, but the front. I was hoping I'd be out of his way so he could mow that hanger good. I want you to try to do most of it, but all I want you to watch is that ball, because that's what you're going to be watching. That airspeed indicator not reading correctly could be because of the moisture, because it's a humid day.
Yeah.
But like I said, as long as it's reading at least your stall speed, you're good to go. Because if anything, that's going to lag. Because that's a little disc and it's floating inside that humidity.
Yeah.
I'm watching my temperatures and they're all looking good. Okay, pull on the brake. And we'll double check the downwind. I don't see anything coming in on final. I don't see anything at all. Mandy traffic experimental 27 uniform limit departing 7, remaining in the pattern. All right, I want you to line us up this time.
All right.
Okay, now Bring us right up to about 6,000 RPMs. When you get up to about 60 on my speedometer, then pull back gently until she lifts off.
All right.
And then keep pulling back to keep it at 60.
All right.
Pull back just gently. And not too much. Very slowly. See how fast it dropped to 60?
Yeah. I thought that's what you wanted to do.
Well, I do want you at 60, but you see how fast it went there? You want to bring it back slowly so that you don't... keep going straight. Left pedal. We want to be out of weight for the airport before we turn. And we don't want to turn until we're at 500. The ball's to the left. There you go. You can almost feel the plane start to slide sideways.
Yeah.
Don't bank it. Keep your wings level and do the turn just with the rudder. Let's go out a little bit further before we turn. Level it off at 800. Okay, there's 800. Level it off, and then keep the throttle coming back to maintain 60. See, as you level it off, you got to push the stick forward and pull the throttle back. All right, now we're not going to change anything. Just the aileron. Give it a little bit of right aileron. I want you to see what happens. Don't change the rudder. Just the right aileron. Mandy traffic, experimental 27 in the right crosswind, 7 minutes. See how the ball goes to the right?
Yeah.
And that's okay because you're still within, as long as the line is touching the ball, we're still safe. All right, now we're at 900 feet. So pull the ball back just a little bit more. And when you do, see how fast it dropped back to 60?
Yeah.
All right, now I want to show you something. I got the controls.
All right.
We're at 900 feet. We've got 4,500 RPMs, and there's 60 in speed, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn into the downwind. Mandy traffic experimental 27 uniform in the right downwind, 7 minutes.
Clear traffic, experimental stinger 7031 Juliet is 6 miles to the east and bound for right downwind to 7.
Roger that, we'll be watching for you. I'm in the right downwind right now, extended.
How's the runway? Is it muddy?
Alright, there's 4,400. All the time you're watching your speed, don't go below 60. Keep pulling back gently. There's 4,000. Keep us at 60. There's 3,800. We got a nice descent rate going on.
Manatee traffic, 31 Juliet, about a 2-mile right downwind to 7.
Alright, you're going to start your turn towards the airport now. Manatee traffic, experimental 27 uniform Lima, right base 7, Manatee. A little bit of aileron. Keep it at 60, so you might have to pull back a little bit because we're going to speed up because we're dropping. We're down to 500 feet, so we got a really nice descent rate. Keep a nice coordinated turn. Throttle back to about 3,500 RPMs. We're at 38. Okay, keep your turn in. See how you're heading back away again?
Manatee traffic, Cherokee 3 Golf Echo is about 2.5 miles to the west. We'll be overflying the airport, entering a right downwind 7, landing Manatee.
Manatee traffic, experimental 27 uniform Lima on final 7, Manatee.
And 31 Juliet, about a 4-mile south east of the field, right downwind 7, Manatee.
Now we're going to keep the throttle on just like you would with your plane.
Aircraft calling Manatee, you see you're 4 miles out? No, it's a quarter mile out. About to beam the numbers now on close to the 7. Okay, great. We're looking for you. We'll be number 2. Follow you in there. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, power up. Let's go again. Manatee traffic, experimental 27 uniform Lima, departing 7, remaining in the pattern, Manatee. Go to the left. See you way over the tomato plant? A little bit of low pedal. See, the ball was way over to the right.
Manatee traffic, Cherokee 3 Golf Echoes overhead the airport, 800 feet, entering a right downwind, runway 7, Manatee. Manatee traffic, 3 left to the right base is 7, Manatee.
Manatee traffic, experimental 27 uniform Lima is off at departure into 7, doing an extended out for a right crosswind 7, Manatee.
Manatee traffic, 3 left to the final, 07, Manatee. Manatee traffic, Cherokee 3 Golf Echo, right downwind, midfield 7, Manatee.
Alright, you can go ahead and do the crosswind. Manatee traffic, experimental 27 uniform Lima, right crosswind 7, Manatee. Not too steep. Nice gentle bang, and then watch the ball and chase it with your feet.
Manatee traffic, Cherokee 3 Golf Echo, turning right base, runway 7, Manatee.
Okay, level off. Slow down your throttle because you've leveled off a little bit. So you have to 8.
Manatee traffic, 312 is clear the runway, Manatee.
Alright, keep the stick back.
Manatee traffic, Cherokee 3 Golf Echo, short final 7, Manatee.
You want to keep us down to 60. Now go ahead and do the downwind. Manatee traffic, experimental 27 uniform Lima, right downwind 7, Manatee. Watch the ball. Make sure you keep chasing it. Alright, we're at 900 feet, so you want to slow us down. Throttle that. There you go. Remember, stick back, load the wings. That'll stabilize everything. If it feels like everything's going to crap, go back, stabilize it, then get your speed set again. Okay? See, we're at 900? Yeah. Alright, so throttle back just a little bit more. We're in an updraft, so we really don't need that much throttle. And then you get to your 60 with the
Manatee traffic, Cherokee 3 Golf Echo, clear 7, Manatee.
maintain 60 with the stick. Keep the wings nice and level. We want to go to the left just a little bit. Get a little bit further away so we can make a nice gradual turn. I want you doing these really nice and gradual, no steep turns.
All right.
Until you really get comfortable with your plane, you want to keep everything almost level. close to level as you can. You'll be surprised at how quick and responsive your plane is going to be. The onset of field, so bring it down to 4,000 RPM. 42, that's good. 41, anywhere in that range. Speed with the stick. Very gently start your turn towards the airport. Just watch your speed, don't slow down. Turn with the ailerons first, and then track the ball. Vandy Traffic Experimental 27 uniform Lima, right base, 7 minutes. Okay, that's too steep. A little bit of right pedal and a little bit of left aileron. Try to just keep your bank angle as gentle as possible. Okay, we're not descending fast enough, so a little bit less throttle, just a little bit, not too much. I'm holding it, so I don't want you to bring it down too far. I'm way off. Watch that 60, you're fine. Vandy Traffic Experimental 27 uniform Lima, turning final, 7 minutes. You're doing fine, that's really good. Keep that 60, so you got to keep that nose down. Now we're dropping really fast. Keep your turn in. You want to line up to the runway first. Okay? Now if it feels like you're going below 60 and you're coming down too fast, you just give it a little bit of throttle. Remember, you've got your engine, you want to use it. There's your level point. See how you hardly felt it?
Yeah.
Let's take a break, get a cup of coffee, and then we'll do some more.
All right.
Don't turn yet. You have to slow down below 5 miles an hour. Now, stick all the way back in your gut, steer it with your feet. When you're on the ground, you're going to steer with your feet. When you're in the air, you steer with the stick.
Yep.
And we're also going to turn that outside airspeed indicator up a little bit, see if I can get it more accurate.
All right.
It should be pretty much level in straight and level flight, which we were, most of the time the nose was up, so it should have been level. But like I said, it could have been the humidity. All right, a little bit of brake, we're going a little bit too fast. You want to keep your taxi at around 5. Now in your airplane, it's going to be even more critical that you go really slow on your taxi, because you can become airborne very, very easily. And you really don't want to ride with the brake on all the time, so it's kind of a fun balance between throttle and brake, especially with mine, because I keep the idle up a little bit so it doesn't vibrate so bad. So it keeps me actually going a little bit too fast on the ground. All right, let's turn in towards the hangar a little bit. Right pedal, nice and strong. Okay. And just as the wing clears and goes in, give it a hard left and a little bit of acceleration just to swing the tail. All full left pedal as you throttle. That's good. Now I'll turn it after we get out. All right, now in the shutdown on this one, you start on the left side. You'll do radio first, then master.
Where's your radio?
Right no, next one down.
This?
No, next one, that one.